Good morning, this is Burnrate and welcome to something a little different. I'm going to play some Shogun 2 versus a Fall of the Samurai player. So Shogun 2 is a total war game set in medieval Japan, and it was released with, I guess, a DLC expansion of Fall of the Samurai, which basically gives the Japanese, rifles and things like that, and cannons, westernizes their armies. But I've never played Fall of Samurai, and I don't really have an interest in doing so, but I do very much enjoy playing Shogun 2 and fighting Fall of the Samurai armies, which means I have guys with swords and bows and spears fighting guys with guns and cannons. So it makes it for a very challenging game, which is really neat. So generally, your units excel. The advantages of the Shogun armies is your units are better in melee, and your archers also have better range, where the Fall of the Samurai armies, they have much more shock value with cannons, with the guns, things like that, and the damage they do is also quite significant. So it's very difficult to close on that army without your army losing an extremely large amount of morale. So what I'm doing here is I have 3 Yari cavalry units that I'm sneaking up in the forest. I have a nice long line of Yari Ashigaru interspaced with Yari Samurai. So that's what you do. You alternate your Ashigaru and Samurai. The Ashigaru are like peasant fighters, and you alternate them with the Samurai, so Samurai kind of bolster their morale. And I have some swords, Samurai and Ashigaru, backing up the spears. Now my right flank here, this building actually boosts the morale of your army. You can see the global effects. And now I usually use this as bait, because I feel like these buildings never make a big enough impact to really change. Ooh, you can see him shooting at my guys. He's shooting at my archers. They never really make a big enough impact to change the outcome of the battle, I think. And people always rush for the morale buildings. So I usually use it as bait and kind of ignore them. But here on my right flank, what I'm going to do is use my archers to engage his units that are coming towards the morale building. If he hadn't come towards there, I would have just continued sweeping around the right side. But another good thing that he did is he also kind of split his army in half. And that brings me to the most important part of fighting Fall of the Samurai armies with Shogun armies, and that is using the terrain. See, I'm using this cover over here. I have some Yari Samurai in these trees to protect my flank. So the biggest thing in terrain is my archers aren't doing it here, but they have a better range. They're hidden in the forest right now. But you can see, I guess, this kind of micro terrain when we zoom down on it. See in the beach right here? Those riflemen do not have a direct line of sight to any unit that was standing here. But if an archer was down here, they'd be able to fire in an arc against the riflemen. So using this kind of micro terrain and kind of small ditches and things actually will allow you to close with the riflemen much better than just running across an open field and getting mowed down by gunfire, which sucks generally. And so this guy's he's got secret riflemen over here, advanced riflemen, snipers. Those things have long range. Top gun riflemen. He's got a mix of infantry. A lot of guys who play Fall of the Samurai, their army will consist entirely of one type of rifleman or another. This is general, and he's got his artillery back here. The Armstrong guns. Those are terribly accurate. So we're going through this battle here. I got my general set up here. He's a bit out in the open, but this is the one thing I also bring with me. These are fire rockets, and you need to actually use a retainer, which retainers are guys that give you a little extra special powers. You need to use a retainer, so they hit some trees, to bring this siege weapon in. It's called ox carts. But the reason I bring these in is fighting Fall of the Samurai armies is they do help a lot with the shock value, taking down enemy morale, but they also have quite a nice range on them. You can see how far they're reaching out here. The bow samurai are not even reaching out here. And being able to use that distance to reach out and touch the enemy can really force them to engage you. And I'm pushing his guys to cross the water here, and crossing the water puts them in an extremely weak area. They're also pretty effective. You can see he's down to 30 out of 60. So my hidden units were discovered on the west here, and he's coming up to engage my units, but these are Yari Ashigaru. These are like the expendable peasants. So they're just kind of absorbing stuff on my flank. And then these guys are pushing across the river. But my archers and my siege guys are using the cover from the trees, which actually helps neutralize the gunfire a lot. But you can see his snipers are actually shooting my general from over there. The range on those things is insane. So I'm engaging on this side. While this side, my Yari Samurai and the Yari Ashigaru were in the left in the forest here. They were able to, he moved up to grab this building, so I decided to charge on him, and he can't fire very well into my units without hitting his own, and once these guys are locked in melee, they're pretty much dead. And he got his general up here too. So at the same time when I led this charge, it kind of distracted him in and he focused his forces, and he was fighting this battle over here. I also brought my Yari cavalry out of the forest to charge his cavalry. So the Yari cavalry is very, very good against other horses. So once they get, locked in with these, you can see they're losing decisively, and his units are losing decisively, where mine are winning decisively. These guys broke because they were getting shot in the back by the general's bodyguard. But his my units have turned around and are heading, already heading in to fight there. And I guess the other thing I didn't say about the siege unit that I brought in, the fire rockets, is the reason I chose those. My general's still getting engaged over there. The reason I chose those is because they're mobile. It's not like the mangonels that get stuck in one place, which really stinks. So you can see these guys, the range on these, which are unusual for the riflemen. They're actually wrecking my archers here. They've caused one to rout. The fire rockets are moving back out of the way. But I put some serious hurt on them. These guys are down to 23 of 60. And I got some other kills here, 26 of 60. A lot of kills with the archers, which were good. And I've pretty much completely taken control of this left flank. He's got a bit more cavalry here shooting at my guys. I don't think I was paying attention here. And this could have cost me actually if he had brought this in and killed my general or something. Because I thought this unit had routed or disappeared, but it had apparently not, and he may have rallied it or something. But it took me a moment to realize he had some guns in the back. You can see that Armstrong artillery just hitting. That stuff is brutally accurate. So I engaged these guys back here with my cavalry, and I pushed my Yari, Ashigaru, and Samurai into his remaining cavalry. And I'm doing them again, having charge in. And I'm bringing all my sword units to charge into here. As he's coming out of the water now, I didn't want to charge across the water, but the Lone Sword Ashigaru are interspersed with some Nodachi Samurai, which have a very nice charge ability. So these guys have already closed a significant amount in the distance, and they're still going to get chopped up pretty good. You can see him. This lost 15 guys. He lost almost 60, the Ashigaru. But they were able to hold their morale and close on the enemy. So once they've closed, the sword units are better at melee than the spear units. Once they've closed with the riflemen, that's pretty much it for those riflemen. And I've already, closed up this left flank. I have a bit more cavalry. And that stink. My Yari cavalry were actually broken by fire from these Armstrong guns. Those things are extremely accurate and painful morale. But I did win. They broke after I killed pretty much all his other units and got rid of his general and everything. But that's how you win with Shogun against flawless samurai. You need to use the trees for cover. Very important. You need to use the terrain. You need to use the ambush. You need to lure guys with buildings. You need to control the engagement range when you engage. You need, it's very difficult, I think, anyway, to beat a Fall of the Samurai army with the Shogun army, but it's also much more rewarding and fun and complex to do. So that's why I do it, and I like to play at these. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And if you want me to do more of these, give me a thumbs up or whatever and all that stuff. Or just let me know. Leave me a message. I do play these once in a while. Though I don't record them a lot. And this was a replay. But this actually turned out the same. The Total War replays are a little bit iffy sometimes because they don't save the random number stream. They save the list of commands, so they can get a little bit weird. But that was this game. Very fun. That was a pretty good battle, you know, and I just made very good use of the terrain there and the buildings to win that. So I hope you enjoyed, and until the next video, have fun.